Hey guys, welcome to Sippin Safari, a podcast where we have guests on every episode. We drink, we have a good time, but most importantly, every episode we'll pick a different category, present animals that fall into that category to our guests to have them rank at the end of the episode. Stick around to hear our guests' final rankings and see who will leave a sore loser and who will leave a bad winner. I love all the things you Googled during our last episode, Ailey.
I had to go. Okay, so we were talking with Laura and John. Laura is American. John is Swedish.
Oh,
and so I
okay.
had to he was like, "What's that in meters?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
I can't do that. I can't.
So I
do
had
that.
Google up with all of the different.
I make a habit of...
Okay, sometimes it's better than others though, because sometimes I'm really good about it, and sometimes I kind of forget.
Oh, wait. Okay, let's do a 10 seconds of not talking.
We good now?
Yeah.
I really wanted to talk the moment you said that.
When I'm editing, that lets me take out any of the background hum.
Oh,
or,
okay. Oh, I see. Gotcha.
You know,
Smart.
The flicker of the candles is really bad.
Really?
No.
Oh. I don't know anything about it. So.
That got me too. If it makes you feel better.
I was going to say, because now that, and I'm going to forget if I don't, I played my first drinking game at a wedding a few weeks ago.
A drinking game at a wedding?
Well, at the bachelor party.
He was a groomsman.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
That should tell you all you need to know.
So I felt like I missed all of that during my college career, being married, and you know.
Which game was it?
Have you ever heard of a game called Rage Cage?
No.
It was really fun. So they filled these. It was probably 20 or 30 solo cups with a little bit of. We kind of made. We
You
had
made
this
a punch,
tote.
didn't you?
We had a tote, and we just poured a bunch of random alcohol and soda and juice into it, and it actually tasted really good.
If you say so.
And so the whole point was everyone had, or two people had a cup, and you had to throw the ping pong ball into the cup. And if you did it before the person next to you,
This feels like beer pong.
well,
No, it's flip. Is it Flip Cup? Is that the one where it's a race or a boat race or something like that?
I'm not sure. Again, this is the only drinking game I've ever played.
A boat race, everybody takes the shot down the line and then they have to.
No, so this was you were competing to not take a shot from the huge group of.
Oh, so okay, so there were two
middle.
people, and you were trying to get yours in before the other person, and then they had to drink.
And then you
okay.
would pass, and then it would go along the. We were all around the table, so you would pass it.
So it's a combo of beer.
So you're trying to make someone else
Okay.
have to take a shot. But it was fun. I ended up only taking 2 shots because I wasn't terrible at the game.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a game that was very easy to bully one person into drinking
The person
the
that's
whole
bad.
tables were. So hi Susan.
Hi. Hello.
I'm Caleb.
I know.
Okay.
Yes, we do know Susan. We've known you for a few years now.
Yep.
And how do we know you, or / how do you know us?
Well,
You can be as vague or as specific as you'd like to be.
Okay. Well, I met y'all in Chickamauga at church.
Now, that's the past 3 episodes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So, well, it's a good place to meet people, I guess. So, yep.
It's funny because we're not very churchy people. So it's I think it's going to be funny that 3 episodes in a row have been people we met at church.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm a very churchy person either. So maybe we're
that's kind of the
gravitating towards each other. I don't know.
all of the people we've had, I wouldn't describe as very churchy. So
Yeah, fair.
yeah.
There's a reason for that.
And at one point, we all started kind of an environmental
Oh, yes.
church.
We were trying to do that.
Yeah.
And I still
And you guys were the only people that did stuff.
Well, it's so I think it's such a good idea, and I'm disappointed that we didn't get to do more with that. I still have my bat box. What is it? Bat box?
Yep. Bat box.
Still have it.
Okay.
Haven't hung it up. I had a place in mind, and then I read that you have to have it away from trees, a certain, and so my place isn't going to work. So now I don't know. It's recalculating.
Yeah.
Well, there were at one point 20 something bat boxes, and we only have 5 of them left up in the attic.
Oh,
So We
Great.
got
Yeah.
most of them up.
Around Chickamauga mostly, right?
Oh, cute. Yeah.
I
cool.
installed a good amount of them on.
Yeah, you'll have to come by.
I took a weekend and just kind of went around and put them up.
Yeah, you'll have to come by the house and help because I don't know where to put it.
Okay.
So yes, I've seen them in our neighborhood.
Okay.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to hear if any of the ones we put up got any bats this spring. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Bat boxes are cool.
Yeah, bat boxes.
So
Yeah.
We also played trivia together too.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yes.
So-
we've done that a few times.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Last
aquarium
time,
was fun.
yes, that was my
Mhm.
favorite
Mhm.
one. The last time that we played, I think you said that this is for people that are in a different generation.
Oh yeah, because they kept on doing like the music ones, and we were like, we
What
have
it-
no idea what any of this is.
All of the music from the 80s and 70s. I was just like,
I don't know this.
A-
Yeah.
I don't. A, I'm too young, and B, I didn't even grow up in this country. So
Oh, that's true.
You can't
Yeah,
use that
makes it
as an
tricky.
excuse for everything, Caleb.
I can and I will.
Just always.
Yeah. I mean, ask anyone who knows me. I use that excuse constantly.
Yeah, you do.
Well, you made me feel very old.
I mean,
By
if
saying
it
that.
makes you feel better, you're not that much older than
I know I'm not.
so.
Sheesh.
But okay, so I don't want you to take this in a bad way, but like you feel very like official now because you are a doctor.
This is true.
Which-
I am very official.
Yeah,
I'm
And I
very
was like,
important.
I'm more intimidated by you now. I'm like Dr.
Dr. Susan.
or Dr. Burran.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Those are both true. That's fine. I don't enforce it. I don't know.
You should.
It is the
you
biggest-
earned it.
Let me tell you, it is the biggest, like, meh. Like, it's such a huge buildup to defending your dissertation. And then nothing changes. It's just kind of a letdown. But I'm glad I'm done with it. That's one thing I'll never
Everyone's
do again.
perception of you changes.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
maybe.
You,
I don't.
You feel more scary.
Okay. If you say so. Oh.
You've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's. I guess it's not bothering you.
Right.
So that song just popped into my head.
I can't think of what that is. What is that?
That's
Jungle.
That's
Book.
yeah.
Christopher Walken.
No, it's from the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
It's Christopher Walken
Well,
plays
okay.
the big monk.
Well, in the
What?
more recent one, Caleb,
Okay.
not the OG Jungle Book,
Excuse me.
which should be the one that comes to your head first.
Louis Prima or something.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
I don't know. I like Christopher Walken.
Well, Christopher Walken's cool, but
It was.
Reached
I don't know.
the
It was.
top
It was
and had
a
to
very
stop.
Christopher
That's what's
Walken
bothering me.
performance.
Yeah, it was.
Like it was.
this is so
Yeah.
random.
Yeah. 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 All right. So.
Right.
So, Susan,
Mm-hmm.
you requested Pinot Noir,
I did.
and I sent Caleb to
Oh,
go
that's
get
right.
wine. And Caleb, what did you bring back?
Wine.
It was not a Pinot because we went to a local winery
They didn't have Pinot.
and they didn't have Pinot.
Okay,
So we
I thought
had
you were like shaming me for something.
no. I'm just saying that
What did you bring? What even is this?
it is a backyard blend, which coming from Georgia sounds a little bit sketchy.
We'll see.
It's a Georgia.
Did you ever watch Schitt's
Georgia-
Creek? That like
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking of right now. I just watched that episode the other day.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love Schitt's
Perfect.
Creek.
Yeah.
It's bad that David is like me. As we were watching it, Caleb just was like looking at me. He's like, "This is you."
Oh,
and I'm like,
really?
"No, I'm not."
It's a good show. We need to watch it again.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like, I think it's time for a rewatch. Mm.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
So yeah, backyard blend, and then we're doing a podcast. Is it a classic? If it's just been 6 episodes, it's a classic. We're doing a podcast classic and doing rum shots.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
So, all right, out of not
cheers.
shot glasses.
Cheers, y'all.
Woo!
No, I'm doing it out of a pint glass, so
I don't take.
it burns.
I never take shots.
All I have to wash it down with is dark wine.
Or water. We have water.
Dark wine. You can tell he's not a wine drinker.
Red wine?
Dark wine. Red wine.
Okay.
Yeah. Fruit wine.
It is fermented.
Yeah, and this is why we chose
Fruit.
this rum to do the shots because it is really gross and it tastes like cough syrup.
All right, so
Okay. Oh,
yeah, we put it in pina coladas.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's perfect for that.
Yep.
Have you tried those? Okay, this is not on topic, but they're like Bacardi brand, and you find them in the grocery store, like freezer. They're like like the canned orange juice.
I've seen them, but I
No.
haven't tried
The
them.
Pina Colada is very good.
We'll
Is it
have to try it.
alcoholic?
No, you have
No,
to
you
add the
add
rum.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It's like the little
delish.
like concentrated juice, like freezy things.
So cheers.
Oh,
Here, we're
cheers.
going to try the dark wine.
The dark
It's not-
wine.
It's not nearly as bad as I was picturing.
Oh, it's so sweet.
It's very sweet.
It is
Very
and that's,
sweet.
That's what you're- that's what
I'm
you like.
saying. I mean, so far my favorite wine was it was a strawberry lemonade rosé.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
It did not taste like anything.
So I I'm more of like a drier red
Mhm.
or a dry rosé.
I don't think the Georgia winery is for you because from like what the research I was doing, it was like, oh yeah, these are wines for people who don't necessarily like wine.
It's, it's exploring. Like I said, I've never tried the Georgia winery. Drove past it all the time.
It's like one of those places that like you should stop by, and it's like really cute and the people are nice.
Yeah.
But it might just not necessarily be the one for you.
That's okay. That's okay. I always wanted to go on like a ladies' night. Like I thought that would be really hilarious and
Yes.
fun to do like a ladies' night.
I went in and the lady, I was like, I want this. And she was like, would you like to do some tasting? And I was like, no, I don't like wine.
And she was like, why are you here?
Yeah. So I had to explain that it was for my wife. It's just easy way to
There you go.
get
Yeah.
past it, you know?
Yeah. Did she advise you to chill it?
Are you not supposed to chill wine?
No, not
Oh.
red wine. But I could be wrong on the sweet reds.
I'm going to blame
I really
Ayla.
don't know.
This is like the first time I have felt superior to my wife when it comes to alcohol because she put it in the fridge.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm
So
sorry.
I drink like rosé.
Yeah,
and-
that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm like, I just kind of put things in the fridge. And I almost, whenever we did, we had Charles on and we did bourbon with him. And I was like, I had to look it up. I was like, I don't know what you do with this. And it was like, leave it at room temperature. So I left that at room temperature. For wine, I just didn't think about it. I just
So-
stuck it in the fridge.
Do you store red wine like after it's been opened in room temperature?
It's weird to me that you're like asking what I do with a bottle of wine like after I opened it.
It's
Do
like,
you mean
no,
it's
I
like,
drink it, right?
It's gone. Yeah, I would just keep it on the countertop.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I believe I have the first animal, but Caleb, you
need
chose.
to put the slide up. Too.
I know. I'm going to have you introduce it.
there.
I'm going to have you introduce
I'll
it
introduce what?
because it's going to
Okay, but
it's
I-
going to give it away. Well, kind of. Not really.
Okay, so
No,
our,
don't look. Caleb
don't
didn't put it on the right thing.
It's fine. It's the wrong animal.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to be
just
looking
just
at.
close your eyes for a sec. Just,
Okay.
They're
They're closed.
Yeah.
normally-
as soon as Susan says her eyes are closed, she opens them and looks directly at the screen.
Yeah. I lied.
Normally, Caleb is in charge of the computer. Okay, you can look. now.
So, Susan, you are okay. So the trivial Pur-Wetsuit.
Is the title for this episode.
So it's supposed to be
you
a play
just
on
told her to look
Pursuit.
before I had a
Yes.
chance to like give my spiel.
Oh, sorry.
So the name is Trivial Pur-Wetsuit. You are currently you and Andy, your husband, who
My adoring
handsome
husband.
stud,
Yeah.
who I wasn't able to compliment in person.
Everybody loves Andy.
Yes, especially when he's here.
Yeah.
So you guys are working on your scuba certification.
Yes.
Trivial Pur-Wetsuit.
Pur-Wetsuit.
Because so our the category we're gonna present you with we're gonna present you with 6 different animals,
Yes.
and you will rank them at the end. And the category is marine animals with the best trivia fact.
Ooh. Okay. I
Or-
like it.
or
Because we used to
fun
do
That's
trivia.
great. Yay.
I guess fun fact is a better one because I don't know if they're all good trivia, but
I'm excited.
So I'm pretty excited too.
Very
I need
cute.
to actually get my notes up because I don't. My first animal is the white margin stargazer.
Okay.
Have you heard of
No,
this
I have
animal?
no idea what this is.
Oh, there's a keyword right here for
Oh.
my use so that I don't have to reach all the way across the world.
Caleb.
Thanks,
did you tell
Caleb.
her?
I thought she would have seen it.
So stargazers are
White margin or white margin? Spelled margin.
I'm so confused. Didn't she say margin?
Yeah,
Did you?
I thought I did.
Maybe you weren't listening.
No, I was not.
I think I said white margin. That's what I've been mentally saying. So I think let's see if that's what I actually said. We'll hear back.
Mhm.
So stargazers are a type of fish that tend to be like bottom dwellers, and their eyes are like directly on top of their heads.
Okay, yeah.
Which is why they're called stargazers.
Okay.
This little guy, just gonna have to warn you, he's kind of nightmare fuel.
Okay.
He's a little bit creepy.
The little sea creatures. Oh, yes. No, I have totally seen this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks like, I think okay. In Indiana Jones, in the Temple of, no, not the Temple of Doom, the last one, the Last Crusade.
Yes.
When he's with he drinks from the wrong cup. You know,
Yeah.
that bad guy, the Nazi, the bad guy. And then he like ages really, really fast.
Yes.
That's what this
That's
looks
what it
like. Yeah, that's totally what this looks like.
Accurate. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he's so ugly.
Yeah, he's so a lot of the time people are like, oh, this is such an ugly thing. Like people say bats are ugly. People say like different things are ugly. And I'm
Bats
like,
are adorable.
yes.
I'm team bat.
But I'm like, this is one thing that I'm like, I really
He's
can't
ugly.
find it cute. Like he just kind of looks like death.
Yeah, his teeth are scary. His eyes are like.
Looks like kind of like a bulldog that's cross-eyed.
Oh, yeah, but a bulldog is cuter. But yeah, there is some
A
bulldog.
bulldog without fur, which I mean, I think.
Or eyelids. Yeah, if you can
True.
imagine a bulldog without fur, jowls, or eyelids, or a nose.
Yep. Yep.
Ew.
Yep. So not a ton is known about them because they live in reef flats, but as you can kind of see in this picture, like they tend to be mostly under the sand. And they're ambush predators. So they're just kind of buried with mostly like their eyes and their mouth kind of showing. And they just, when things go by, they'll just kind of snap them up.
Oh my God. I think I am going to have a nightmare about this guy. Like
just,
stepping on one.
Just wait. I have a video
Oh,
that
no.
like really makes it worse.
Oh, no, English.
So an interesting thing is they have an oral lure. So it,
I was just going to ask that.
Anglerfish or.
So it's the only way I can really describe it is like one of those cat toys that is just like a long piece of like ribbon that you kind of like just like twirl around in front of them. It looks like that coming out of its mouth. Like it's kind of like
tongue, isn't it?
Yeah, if it's
So more like a snapping, like an alligator snapping turtle. Like,
yes, like it's super long and like creepy and wiggly and like it's bad. It's in the video that you're gonna see.
I can tell you, I don't want to see this thing's tongue.
Did you know that freshwater mussels do the same thing?
No.
Stick their tongue out and wait for a fish to bite them so that they can put their
I bet this
seed.
tongue is a lot creepier,
The different purpose.
and longer.
probably.
So yeah, they are tropical fish, even though they don't look like it.
Nope.
But they can occur at depths between 5 and 350 meters, or between 16 and 1,000 feet. So like they can be kind of anywhere. And they can be found in the Indo-Pacific, so like the Red Sea, Indonesia, Fiji, Samoa, and Tonga.
Okay.
And as adults, they're about 45 centimeters or 17 inches long. So they're pretty big. They're like 1.5 feet ish.
Yeah.
They're like hefty little guys. And so the filaments on the edge of their mouth that you called their teeth.
That's not teeth?
They look like.
No, they look like teeth, but so that is actually just like a little filter that keeps the sand out of their mouth when they're buried.
God.
So I'm pretty sure like all their prey is small enough that they just kind of like swallow it whole.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that is basically just kind of like a little filter to keep the sand and rocks out.
What are these? Do you see those two thingies that are like right under the eyeballs that look kind of like holes? What in the world are those?
I think those are nares. I think that like they're nostrils.
Okay.
I believe is what those are.
That makes sense. That checks out.
Because fish do smell through their nostrils.
Okay.
Fun fact.
That's not the fun fact for this animal, Caleb.
Oh wait, we haven't. I thought the gross tongue thing was
No,
the fun fact.
we haven't gotten to the fun fact
so
yet.
we're gonna do like basic facts
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
So I'm doing
some of them may be
some
fun,
background.
but there's a main fun fact.
Okay.
That will
Or like a trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Something.
got to manage my expectations here. So
We'll hold out.
It
for the
gets
end on
better.
that.
Okay.
All right. My last kind of like background fact is that so in a matter of milliseconds, like when a fish swims by too close, it creates a vacuum in the water that just kind of like sucks the fish in.
Ooh.
And so like they don't even really have to like get out of the sand. They just kind of like suck it in.
How do they do that?
They literally just like, so they...
Explain this to me in all of your detail.
Okay, I'm going to go into as much detail as I possibly can, which is not very much. So basically they like open, so they have their little like creepy tongue lure thing out. And then when the fish gets close, they just kind of like suck in, and the water goes from like through their mouth and like through their gills.
Okay.
It's just kind of like, whoop. Yep, that's the perfect sound for it. They just kind of slurp them up.
They create a void.
Yes. Yep.
Or vacuum.
Yeah. So the fish literally can't swim out at all.
That's okay. That's creepy.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that it's as small as it is, because like it's a hefty little guy, but he is a little guy.
He can't like swallow me.
Yeah, no.
And a lot of those kind of ambush fish have that vacuum type attack.
Yeah, because they can only do so much.
Too.
Oh, really?
But catfish can get very big, so maybe don't tell me that. So my trivia fact is that these guys are known as the meanest things in creation.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. What about a yellow jacket? Like, they're just jerks.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Caleb currently has a vendetta against yellow jackets.
Hate yellow jackets.
I have 2 stings on my leg right now.
They're mean.
And I killed the nest.
Oh, good.
I did.
Yeah.
So it was like
they're good if they're
No, they're never good.
Well,
they're like always
if
harassing
they're not near
you.
humans. They're
Who
great,
cares?
right?
But the thing is, they're like, you have on some fruity perfume, or I want that food,
or you just mowed over my nest.
No, it wasn't. You didn't even mow over it. You mowed close to it.
That I had.
Like,
I had a same. Oh, this is like one of the scariest things that ever happened to me. I mowed the grass. This is why I don't mow.
Sure.
And I mowed over a yellow jacket nest, and I didn't know. And they were everywhere. They were in my hair. They were stinging me everywhere.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Nope. That's giving me shivers in the worst way.
Yeah.
I felt 2 stings, and I immediately knew what they were.
Yeah.
And I dropped the mower running, bolted to the house. I swear I could hear him following me.
Yep.
Opened the door, slammed it, and didn't go outside again for like another 2 hours because I was like,
yeah. So when I was right by the front door when he came in, and like I didn't know what happened to him. Like he was out of breath and he was like, I was like, oh my gosh, like are you dying? Like
they're little. Yeah.
They're assholes.
They're assholes.
Yeah. They're assholes.
So this guy is even meaner
Apparently.
than a yellow jacket.
According to William Leo Smith, who is an ichthyologist at the University of Kansas, he is the one who coined that term, the meanest things in creation, or gave them that nickname. So they have specialized organs located behind their eyes that can discharge up to 50 volts of electricity.
What?
So
why do they even need that?
I don't
They already
really
have the lure
know.
and the vacuum?
I know. Yeah, so I don't think it's like super commonly used.
Does the electricity, does it come out of their eyeballs?
I couldn't find that.
How does that happen?
Okay, so what I believe,
eyeballs.
I think it's kind of like eels, like the electric eels, where it kind of just like discharges into the water.
Yeah.
Around.
Okay.
But it's not very much. Like it's only 50 volts. So 50 volts, I looked this up. It's like considered the top of like the safe range for being shocked. Like you don't really want to be shocked by that, but it like won't kill you most likely unless you have like a heart condition, or anything. Yeah. So Caleb just switched to the next picture. This
oh my God, it's so ugly. Oh my gosh.
It's not nice.
And like you zoom away from the face and you think it might get better, but it doesn't. It's just so ugly. There are jowls.
It looks like it almost looks like a tadpole that just never grew out of its tadpole phase and
got really mad about
it.
And
Got real angry about it.
Yeah. Oh, not teeth, but whatever those are. It looks teethy.
the filaments.
Yeah. Ornamental teeth.
So, and they also have poisonous spines.
Where?
Behind their operculum. So like their operculum is the cover of the gills.
Okay. Hold up now. What's your fun facts that they're mean? So this is just
the meanest. This is why they're mean.
Wow.
Excuse me, this is evidence
to
support her claim.
This feels like cheating. But
I am defending my claim, Caleb.
These are the way in which it is so mean. There are multiple ways.
So you can kind of see it in this picture, like these pokey outy things. Those are spines.
Yep, the pokey outies.
The pokey outies are the spines. Just right behind kind of where
I see them.
Where the ears would be.
Be a good time to have a monocle, right?
Right?
Instead of
a monocle would be cooler than like the bifocals.
Susan
I
has
think
pulled her glasses up off the table and is trying to look through them like binoculars.
It's very cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes. So yeah, they are not typically deadly to humans with these poisonous spines.
Well, that's good to know.
But they can hurt you a lot. And other types of stargazers can actually be lethal to humans.
Oh.
So the most common way that these guys can hurt humans is humans will step on them.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yep, because
that's literally what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, so if you're in the Indo-Pacific, maybe don't step on the ground. Just kind of like hover above it. Swim.
The ocean, that's always something you got to be worried about is stepping on the wrong thing, whether it's fire coral or stingrays. Stonefish.
Yep.
Urchins.
Yep.
Oh, my boys were so scared of urchins when we were in Hawaii. They were like,
they're
like,
scary.
You just swim over them.
Well, yeah. So like, and even in Roatan, in every single crevice.
Yeah. Everywhere you could stick an urchin. There's an urchin.
There is one.
I'm like, these taste good.
Yes. So Caleb, do we have a mouse somewhere or do I need to?
No.
Okay. So I tried to embed this video, Caleb, before you get on to me, and Google Slides told me that I was not allowed to. It said, look it up on YouTube. And I did. And I clicked on it and it said it was fine. And then it said, you don't have permission to embed this.
Rude.
So this is a link that I have to click on. Caleb, don't get on to me. I lost my.
I'm going to do the glasses again, so don't make fun of me.
So we will include this in our show notes. This is just, the Stargazer. And then
it's very pretty. Like,
no, it isn't.
I don't know.
Before you see its face.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Devil tongue. No, I don't like that at all.
It's nightmare fuel as it shivers down
and
and
it's just gone now.
Yep.
It's gone. Yeah, the camouflage is really good.
Yeah,
thank you.
This video came up in an article I was reading and I was like, oh, okay. Like I just kind of saw it and I was like that. And then the tongue came out. I was like, no.
Nope.
No.
Yep. Let me tell you
like
a little story about a man named Nope.
But you can kind of see at the end of that video, you could see it kind of like breathing through its mouth and how the filaments are like sifting the sand out. So I thought that was pretty cool. But also nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
So, now you know. And that was the
white margin stargazer.
Yes.
The stargazer made me think it was going to be something pretty.
Yeah, some of the types of stargazers are actually really pretty. Okay. And there's even like freshwater species of stargazers.
Okay.
But yeah, not this one. This one is not a pretty one.
We're going to get on to another not so pretty fish.
Bring it.
But also like, I don't know, they're beautiful in their own way sort of thing.
Yeah, we shouldn't be so like pretty or ugly about marine creatures.
So Ailish has this tendency not to give the scientific names of the species.
Oh, that feels very judgmental.
Yeah, Caleb.
Yeah, because I pointed out every single episode. I'm like, why aren't you giving
Which
us
is why
scientific?
I don't.
Oh,
I don't do well with people telling me what to do.
No, she doesn't. You may or may not have heard of the Greenland shark.
Yes.
So if you have, don't spoil the fun fact because it's probably the one thing everyone knows about Greenland sharks.
Okay.
But their scientific name is Sumneosis microcephalus.
Okay.
They are one of the biggest fish in the ocean. They measure up to 6.4 meters or 21 feet.
Okay.
That is too big.
Yeah,
my mind can only like quantify so much. Like I think around 8 feet is about as big as my mind can actually think of.
Yeah, so
I'm picturing like
how big is this guy?
Just
21
feet, which is about the same length as a great white.
Okay.
So big fish.
That's okay. Like in comparison to like a car.
That's like 2 of our SUV in a row.
Oh no, that's very big.
Yeah, that's too big.
That's a very big
and they can weigh up to 1,000 kilograms or 2,100 pounds, which again, so their length is very similar to a great white, but they're not as hefty. So they weigh about a little more than half of what a great white would.
They're more trim.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. They are the largest fish in the Arctic Ocean.
Oh, Arctic. Okay.
And they're the only shark that lives there year round.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only shark that lives in Arctic water year round.
I mean, I don't know why I said, oh, Arctic. Like I didn't know.
Sure.
It's a Greenland shark. Like.
Yep. They prefer water between -1 and 10 degrees Celsius, or 30 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Just above frozen.
Yeah. That's too cold for me. I don't know about y'all, but.
And they have like in their blood like this kind of natural antifreeze that prevents their insides from like crystallizing.
Very interesting.
So they can survive. They live as deep as 2,200 meters or 7,200 feet.
Well, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
So
over a mile under.
Okay. And do they stay at that depth all the time?
No, so they can live anywhere between like 30 or 40 feet down to.
Okay.
They kind of go wherever. So like the warmer the water is, the deeper down they are generally.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then they will dive for food. They have been found as far south as off the coast of Belize.
Oh, wow.
I know. Then
So-
that was actually, they discovered that in, I want to say April. It was spring of this year
Really?
that they
Keeping you
found-
guessing.
They are.
I don't like the thought of encountering that like on a tropical
Isn't that
vacation.
great? Which means not only are they off the coast of Belize, but the entire eastern coast of the U.S.
Yeah.
They can be found off of.
Yeah.
And
Well, Belize, I mean, isn't there like a drop off there? Like,
yeah, so that's the thing is
it
they
can
live
get
in
really
these
deep.
yes,
Yeah.
frigid waters
Yeah.
and frigid currents off
So
the
it makes
coast.
me more scared to like go over those like swim over those really large like crevasses.
Let me tell you, that it creeps me out. Like the openness, the
Yes.
expanse.
Yes.
Now,
English, we
this-
have so many
Like
similar
in Finding
anxieties. Yes.
This may
God.
this will make you guys appreciate the Greenland shark more. They're gentle giants.
Okay, that's good.
There has only ever allegedly been one attack that was not verified in like the mid 1800s,
Yeah.
but there's never been a verified attack by
Well, we
a
don't-
Greenland shark on a
That
person.
makes sense because they like water that's like way too cold for us,
Yeah.
or way too deep for us.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they're just so big that there's no evidence of them eating people. They just eat them in like one gulp. and
Another
they're gone.
thing that will maybe assure you a little bit. So their name, Somniosus microcephalus, translates to sleepy smallhead.
Yeah, I knew
Uh,
microcephalus. I didn't know the
yeah,
first part.
yeah.
Just saying.
They're slow. They're slow, which is why they're called sleepy. They travel an average of 0.3 meters per second or 0.76 miles per hour.
Okay,
was
that's
slow.
slower than me.
Yeah, that's like the speed you walk when you're older and you need a walker to get around.
That
Okay.
is ageist,
Shuffling.
Caleb.
That was ageist.
I'm okay if you're young and
It's just
need
a
a
slow
walker
pace.
for some reason.
Slow pace.
I don't know. I'm stuck on this walker.
Yeah, let's get off the walker.
aspect. Okay.
Is it like a snail, like a sloth, like a slow animal? I don't know.
They're just slow.
They're just slow. Let's just stop with this.
We're just slow.
Move on.
Yeah, Susan, I don't know why you insist on comparing them to something. Goodness gracious.
You're the one that brought it up.
They're mostly scavengers and are known to eat carrion. However, their stomach contents have been found to include polar bear, reindeer, and horse.
That's
meat.
weird.
Isn't
Okay.
that-
And human? Question mark.
No human. That's no human. Did I say reindeer? I said reindeer, right?
I thought you said deer.
Okay,
Maybe you did
reindeer.
say
I
okay,
was-
reindeer.
Reindeer meat. So yeah, they have also been known to hunt seals. So
Okay. That
They-
checks out.
I guess they're capable of some speed
Mhm.
if they're hunting seal.
Or seals are just dumb.
And they have like this this signature like corkscrew type bite. So whenever they find a seal with this, they know it's a Greenland shark that's
Okay.
attacked it. And so something
So it
they
has
did a
like
study.
an uneven jaw or something, like to make it kind of like
Yeah. So I read like their upper teeth are sharp and their lower teeth are flat. So I don't know.
Ooh, creepy.
That's wild.
So they did a study at some point in like the late 90s over the span of like 8 years, and like
Mhm.
5,000 seals were discovered to have these injuries or have been killed with that
Okay.
unique bite mark. So they are hunters. Their flesh is poisonous.
Oh, that's crazy.
To humans, to apparently sled dogs have been killed by eating Greenland shark.
Oh. Okay.
However, it's also a delicacy in Iceland, of course.
So like if you cook it, does that cook out like
No.
the
You
toxins?
You have to skin it.
They have to hang the skin for months for the
Oh, is
toxin
this the
to-
fermented shark that they eat in
That
Iceland?
must be what it is.
This
Mhm.
must be it. I've heard that before. Iceland, they also believe in elves, supposedly. So.
That's why, because they're eating poisonous shark meat.
But yeah, maybe
I'm
there's
I'm
like some
sure-
sort of
yeah,
they
I'm
There's
sure
a-
they
kind of
see
get
the
high
elves.
off of it. or
There's a
something.
term called shark drunk. And that
Oh.
is what happens when you eat their flesh.
Okay.
And then you see elves.
Okay.
It all makes
so
sense.
honestly, this was probably my second funnest fact. They weren't photographed in the wild until 1995.
Hmm.
And a video wasn't captured of them until 2013.
Oh, so elusive.
Elusive. I mean, they're just so deep water.
Mm-hmm.
They're listed as vulnerable by the IUCN Red
Okay.
List. And this was the first picture that was captured.
Oh, that's kind of creepy. It looks
Yeah.
like a haunted house picture.
It
or
looks
something.
like-
It's so dark.
Yeah, it looks like one of the like cryptid pictures, or it's like
oh, totally. Yes.
it looks like it's on film.
But
and
like,
it's very grainy.
I don't know. I think they're very
That's what pictures
pretty.
looked like in 1995.
that's true. That is what my childhood pictures look like. So
That's funny.
All right, so considering their fun fact, I think you'll agree that he or she looks very good. The Greenland sharks are believed to be the longest living vertebrate on Earth.
Yes, I think that's what I knew about them.
Yeah.
Yes.
It might surprise you to know how long they live, though.
Surprise me, Caleb.
And just for reference, this shark right here is probably around 200 years old.
Oh, old dude.
Looking good, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got a few chunks missing off of his
Tail.
Yeah.
but it's to be expected. So most sharks have rings like trees around their vertebrae.
Mm-hmm.
But Greenland sharks have very soft vertebrae, so they're not able to tell that way. They will take a chunk out of the center of their eye after they've died.
Oh, okay. Like this
and
is
they
gruesome.
will radiocarbon date the center of the eye to see, because their eyes do have layers. They kind of, I don't know how that works, but the center is how they tell how old it is. And they have a life expectancy of 270 years.
Mm-hmm.
However, they are believed to be able to live up to 500 years, give or take a few dozen years.
That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
That's insane. So there's one that's alive that's like been there since before the United States was a place.
So this means that there very well may be a handful of sharks alive today that were born in the same decade that Christopher Columbus landed in the New World.
It's wild. That's wild.
One single creature alive over how many human generations? Like 15?
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, the stories he could tell.
More than that. It'd probably be more than 15. If on average, a new generation's every 30 years.
Don't ask me to do math. That's not my thing. That's why there are engineers, is so that the biologists can be like, here, figure this out. Thanks.
And that's why we marry them, so that they can do it.
My last piece of that is they don't reach maturity, sexual maturity, till they're 150 years old.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's probably why they're considered vulnerable. Like the climate change plus the slow generation time.
I'm just going to say, I would love to see Steve Carell star in 150-Year-Old Virgin.
Ah.
Okay.
I was like, where are you going with Steve Carell? Okay.
Just because they can't procreate doesn't mean they can't have sex, Caleb. You don't know that they're virgins for 150 years.
This is true. I didn't think to ask, like, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean, sexual maturity? Like, technically able to reproduce or what?
I believe so.
Yes. So they can't reproduce which is one of the reasons that they're listed as vulnerable, even though we don't know exactly their numbers. The fact that
that's
their
such a long
generation
time
interval is 150 years.
Yeah, that's
longer
crazy.
than any of us will ever live.
Well, you don't know that. I plan on living a very long time. There's like haven't you heard that before, that like the first person that's going to live to 150 has already been born or
yes,
something?
I have heard that, but then I picture that being like a single person, everybody else just like dying around
maybe.
So that's probably like
a sad existence.
I know, like that's probably like the most depressing way to think about that.
That is sad. Yeah, that's too bad.
But yeah.
And there's the asshole who.
Oh, it's Columbus.
Yeah.
And we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah.
Instead of the perpetrator of genocide.
Right.
And it's so funny because like, at least when I was in the States as a kid, like we worshipped this man. And so it's like been a lot of like realization that like,
there's been,
no, he was kind of a terrible person.
No, he was like, not even kind of, he was like, it was bad things.
And as soon as he landed and saw all these indigenous Americans, he was like, ooh, I see an opportunity here. They don't know what they don't know that we're equals. So let's exploit them.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they weren't equals in his eyes either, I don't think. Like
True.
Yeah, no, bad things. Yeah, I was just over the summer, I took a global change biology class online.
Ooh.
And they actually talked about like the, I don't remember what the actual term is, but like the fallacy that like America was like the blank slate that was untouched.
Right.
And it was, and we were just talking about like how Native people all across the Americas, like did change the land, did change the landscape. They, like cultivated different crops.
Right.
So it was just really cool to hear about that and be like, oh yeah, like this is some stuff that I learned as a kid, not that long ago.
Yeah.
That was completely wrong.
Right.
So it's nice to kind of, dig into that a little bit.
Everything with Smokey the bear
Yeah.
being like, forest fires are bad.
I know.
And
only you can prevent forest fires. And
right?
It's like, well,
but
that messaging,
we?
meant that we just left all of this brush level, like,
and the Native
build up
Americans knew that to maintain a healthy ecosystem, that prescribed burns had to happen.
Yeah.
And it's natural. It's part of nature.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have been preventing them for so long has
really
meant
hurt.
that whenever one does happen, it's a natural disaster instead of regular life.
Yeah. I'm learning a lot. I would say like the last 5 years, like I've learned quite a bit
absolutely.
About like what I thought was true or what the assumptions that I held or whatever. And it's kind of like this huge reprogramming for me personally. So
yeah, it's been really interesting. Like since Caleb and I have been together since we were like teenagers, like it's something that I can notice more in him. I'm like, you have changed so much. Like I remember some of the things that we would talk about like as teenagers, and I'm like, we have both like done complete flips on some things.
Oh, actually, there's like a turkey now that represents
what?
Wildfire. So it's like the opposite of Smokey.
Oh, no, I thought we were talking about the Greenland shark, and I was like, what? What's the turkey got to do with it?
So there's like a mascot that they've started pushing for pro burns. That's a turkey.
I still see Smokey the Bear though. I feel like he's not obsolete.
He's on the like the
at every national
the
park,
meter,
they have the little risk
Mm-hmm.
meter.
Yes. Okay.
I have seen him recently.
No, I mean
it's not his fault.
I know it's not.
His parents
fault.
were killed by a wildfire. Caleb.
I know it makes me
not
sad.
his fault.
There's just always like well-intended policies that have like unintended consequences. And so all we can do is just kind of react and keep trying to do better.
Yep. So it's good that we are reacting. I mean, that's a positive. Yeah. That we know and are trying.
Those of us that are.
All right, moving on. So my next animal is the Yeti crab, and I do
Yeti crab
have the scientific name for this one because apparently like white people call it a Yeti crab and nobody else does. So like its actual name is Kiwa hirsuta, which is it is based off of the Polynesian goddess of crustaceans. So only I think
I love how you said that like you knew.
Yeah, I completely know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, have you watched Moana?
Uh-huh.
You know all about Polynesian culture now.
Yeah. Yes, I'm an expert.
Yes.
When we went to Hawaii, we went to a luau. So I am even more of an expert.
So you are now Hawaiian, are you not?
Yeah.
I feel like I need to put the disclaimer that we are joking.
Yes, this is me kidding.
All right.
I mean, 90% of what we say is jokes.
So white people call it the Yeti crab. It's not actually known as that. It was
the white man.
So it can be found in the South Pacific.
Okay, that makes sense. That checks out. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was only discovered in 2005, which I was very surprised about. It's weird of like how recently we're discovering things.
Yeah.
And like it's not like there's a lot of them. There's plenty of them around, as far as we know.
Huh.
So it's weird that we haven't discovered them. However, they also are. So where they live is in hydrothermal vents. In like the deep, deep ocean.
Okay.
So it like makes sense, but then also like I feel like one of them should have like turned up in something's stomach or like washed up on shore.
Sure.
So it's weird.
Does that mean deep sea mining is also a threat to it?
No, because we don't mine in hydrothermal vents.
We do actually.
Not where these guys are, because I was trying to find like if there were like things that were threatening it. And it was basically like, nah, they're just kind of do their own little thing.
Because one of the animals for an episode we have not recorded yet that I did the information on is endangered, specifically because they're only found in certain hydrothermal vents that are under contract for deep sea mining.
I had not seen that. So yeah, as far as my research has gone, I wasn't able to find anything like that. And they're not like evaluated by the IUCN based, like their risk isn't known.
Come on, IUCN, you got to get on this stuff.
There are a lot of animals, Caleb. This one was just discovered. It needs to wait its turn. Anyways, so this is what this friend looks like, which is why we call it the Yeti crab.
Okay.
So it basically looks like a normal crab, but with super, super long like arms that are covered in like white fur.
Yeah, it looks like a crab got a fancy coat.
Yes, that is a great description. Yes. So obviously, like the hairs that are on it are not actual hairs. They're things called like setae. I don't know if that is how you say that. It's SETAE.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But they're just like long hair-like filaments. Yeah. And okay, so going back to when they were discovered in 2005 in the South Pacific by a group organized by Robert. Another thing I'm gonna mispronounce. No.
Of Dunder.
Okay, the first 4 letters are VRIJ.
Okay, I can't help you here.
Vinhoek. I'm gonna say. I'm so sorry.
Virgin Hope.
Of the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute.
Isn't that the one from Finding Dory?
Virgin
I don't know.
Hope.
I've only seen Finding Dory once, and it was like when it first came out, so I have no idea.
I just rewatched it because we were getting ready to go to the Georgia Aquarium, and it's like they made it about that aquarium almost because all those species. But I'm pretty sure it's.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that is not an American name.
Who?
No.
Oh no.
Robert.
If I know anything.
Well, maybe just like maybe.
But what is an American name?
Exactly, Caleb. That's exactly what I was trying to say. We're supposed to be a melting pot or something. So
something like that, right?
I'm just gonna say it sounds like a really like a very white person name. Like they would come from like Scandinavia.
Maybe.
And that type of like.
I would highly doubt if it's an African name or.
You never know.
I guess
You
South
never know.
Africa is a very melting pot-ish.
That was a lot of consonants in like group together.
All together. Don't like it. So when they were discovered on the Pacific Antarctic Ridge, which is a divergent tectonic plate boundary that's located 1,500 kilometers or 930 miles south of Easter Island.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but I always think of like Easter Island as like this tropical island, like kind of, I don't know, maybe by Hawaii, maybe in the Caribbean. Like that's what I picture it. But no, it's in the like South Pacific.
Yeah.
That's just a fun fact from my mind.
Okay.
So when I said they live in hydrothermal vents, like when I first saw that, I was like, oh, they live by hydrothermal vents. No, they live in the vents.
In them. Okay.
I think that's this next picture. Like they gather into these hydrothermal vents because it's too cold for them. Otherwise, like in all the surrounding water, it's too cold. So they live in the vents.
Okay.
Where it is where it's like around 32 degrees Celsius or around 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
And I was like, that seems like a nice temperature. Like I understand. Like I kind of thought it was going to be warmer in there.
Well, are they like at the top? Like are they near the?
They don't go like super deep into it. There's kind of like these little like ridges that they kind of go and chill under. And so one of the people that have led expeditions to research these guys, they said there can be up to 600 per square meter.
Yeah, they're clustered in there.
Yeah, like they just kind of, I mean, they're like
That's
crabs.
kind of freaky.
Yeah, they look very spidery.
Yeah, they do.
They just kind of are all chilling together. And they are on average about 6 inches across. So they're like they're not
small.
huge.
Well,
but they're and they're between 2 and 5 pounds or 1 to 2 kilos.
Mm-hmm.
That's chunky.
No, they're like, I mean, I hate to say this, but like ones you might want to eat. Like they're
It's a long way to go to like
I know.
Catch the crabs though.
And because they live in like the deep waters, they're virtually blind because there's not a lot of light, and so their bodies just don't really care about that. The trivia, which is just so cool, they farm their own food.
They farm their own food.
Yes.
Look at these little industrious crabs.
So
go.
Filamentous bacteria live in the fur on their arms.
Oh, that makes sense. And so
It's
they're walking around with
their farms,
with their snacks.
Yes, they're self-sustaining.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm impressed. Cuties.
So these bacteria, so hydrothermal vents excrete. Secrete. They push out.
Yeah.
They produce, I guess, hydrogen sulfide.
Uh-huh.
So the bacteria basically take the hydrogen sulfide and they use inorganic molecules from the hydrogen sulfide as energy to produce organic molecules that then the crabs eat.
Oh, okay.
So they do this process called chemosynthesis, which is basically using, I know you know this.
I'm going to let you continue.
Okay, yeah. Tell me if I'm wrong though, because like I was really trying to wrap my mind around it. It's a lot harder now.
The bacteria are chemoautotrophic. Is that
yes?
Okay.
Yes. So instead of like photosynthetic, which is like using light, they use heat energy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, they basically are just they're just so cool.
What is the Manning's equation equivalent?
Huh?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Is this an engineer thing?
Yeah.
Are other engineers listening and be like, "Oh, that's so funny"?
I have literally no idea what's happening now.
I know. I feel better now. Thanks.
Okay.
Y'all continue.
Okay, I'm sure other engineers will think that you're very clever.
I'll just throw in another engineering term whenever I feel lost again.
Okay.
Sheesh. No, that's fascinating.
Yeah. So they have. So yeah, I called them their own little arm farms.
Mm-hmm.
Arm
farm.
Arm farms. Yeah, and so the people who have researched these guys have.
Did you call it that, or did you find someone else?
No, I called it that because I was typing it. I was like, it's an arm farm. And I thought I was very cute. I thought I was very clever.
I agree. That is very clever. Very cute.
Yeah. So it's believed because I think they're pretty recently discovered. So it's believed that they also can eat other things, but it's also believed that at least 80% of their nutrition comes from their bacteria arm-y.
Yeah.
Their army of bacteria on their arms.
Well, I would imagine
you can't just try to win the guest over with puns.
Oh no, you
My
can.
goodness.
It'll work. I would imagine that there's not a lot of other food sources down there, and
it mentioned possibly small fish and stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't know how common those are inside the vents at that depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's actually a lot of these bacteria weren't even discovered. I'm not surprised that the crabs were more recently discovered because this is such an extreme environment that we didn't think anything lived here for a really long time. So I'm not but you're right. They should have washed ashore or something at some point.
Yeah,
that is
because I was
curious.
they have shells and stuff.
What is the shell made of? Does it
I am not
quickly?
sure.
I'm sorry.
I was not. I did not find that anywhere.
It's okay. It won't be on the test.
But yeah, so those are Yeti crabs. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I kind of happened to cross it. This was a little bit of a tricky episode for me because I didn't have things right in mind because Caleb came up with it. He comes up with most of the episodes. So I feel like he kind of already has an idea of things. And then I have to be oh shoot, I don't
You
know
came up
anything.
with this one.
Did I?
You did.
It's a pun. Trivial.
No, I came up with the name, but she came up with the idea.
Okay, I think I inspired the idea because I was like, oh, Susan, microbiology, so we should do something small.
I made it marine.
And then, I was
Andy was going to come and he wanted it to be scuba.
She wanted it to be
he missed his chance.
fun
He
facts because we do trivia.
Yeah, so I was something about trivia. And so I think I maybe inspired it and then you kind of refined it to something that actually made sense.
I'm going to attribute it to both of y'all.
I just really liked my punny name.
Yeah.
Even though it was terrible.
That's okay. I love a bad pun. I love a dad joke. I have what I call mom jokes, which are jokes that only I really think are funny and I have to explain them to everybody and then it's not funny. That's a mom joke.
I bet I would get them.
Yay!
As a fellow mom.
Anyway.
All right, Caleb, to your next animal.
Do your West.
All right. I know this is this is probably one you are going to love.
Okay.
Because of your area of study. And you may have already heard of him. I'm hoping you haven't.
Is it a tardigrade?
No.
Okay.
Have you heard of the Benjamin Button jelly?
No.
No?
I haven't. I'm excited.
Okay, so I'm going by the lesser known name because if I go by their more popular name, it would give away the fun fact. So
okay.
Benjamin Button jelly, or Turritopsis dohrnii.
Turritopsis dohrnii. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So that's the scientific name. They're not true jellyfish. Fun fact. Not the fun fact, though. They're see-through, no bigger than a pinky nail. They have kind of a red filament in them, teeny tiny, and adults can have 80 to 90 tentacles.
It doesn't even look like a real thing.
It doesn't, but it's super pretty. We're looking at a picture and they're see-through, and then the middle's bright red, and they don't look like they would be the size of a pinky nail.
No, it looks like it would be a huge thing. What is the red? Is that bioluminescence or?
I am not sure. I don't know that they're bioluminescent, but I do know they have stomachs and.
Okay, yeah, that could just be.
So that's what I would assume it is.
Adorable internal organs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Caleb, I'm gonna just interject here for a minute. So it looks like those little lights that were really popular in the 90s that like it basically was like a lamp that a bunch of like the little
all the filaments
yeah
came
the
off
filaments
of.
came off of it and like just the ends kind of looked like
The tips were
very like bright.
I think like a fiber optic kind
Yes.
of situation. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I get that.
That's what they look like with all their little tentacles coming off. All right, continue.
So they're originally from the Mediterranean,
Mhm.
but they're notorious hitchhikers and have
Ballast
spread.
water.
Yep, they've spread across the globe in ballasts of ships,
Okay.
which I kind of went on I was curious to know how ballasts work, and
Oh boy, I can't wait to hear.
are you guys familiar with how
Engineer.
ballasts work?
Yes, I am. I don't know about you.
No.
So for these big ships that have to control their buoyancy,
Uh-huh.
so whenever they want to, depending on the weight they're carrying, if they need to be lower in the water,
Mhm.
they will take on water from outside the ship.
Okay.
And then as their load lessens,
Yeah, they can let it.
they can, or sorry, no, other way around. So if the ship is very heavy, they want more air in the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and then as that load lightens, they take in water
Okay.
so that it stays
Right.
sunken enough to not tip over.
That makes sense.
So whenever they take in water,
They take in
they
little
take
guys.
in
What are
so
these
many
called?
different things. So they take in jellyfish. They take in, whatever-
Normally, like larval fish. So that's how like a
Lots
lot
of-
of invasive species get started because
like lionfish or one that
Oh yeah.
spread that way.
and zebra mussels are really big
Mussels.
invasive like across the entire world.
Lots of invertebrates
Yep.
spread that way.
Yep. So I don't. This is like a tangent, but I don't know why anybody ever thought that was going to be like just an okay thing to just like take some water from over here and just like toss it somewhere else.
They
Like,
just weren't,
I mean, they weren't
just weren't
thinking about it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just weren't thinking about
I
that.
think-
it's just so weird for me to
now-
think of that because I'm like, I guess with like all the stuff that I've kind of grown up like
Yeah.
knowing because
Yeah.
people like know it and teach it.
Yeah. So what do they do now?
I would say
I think they still do it, don't
they
they?
probably do. I would say
They put like a filter on it or something.
if there was guidance on how to do it, they would probably need some sort of filtration
Mm-hmm.
to take in water and not take in organisms.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I doubt that happens.
At least not like in a standardized type of way. It might happen like
on this boat, but not
Yeah,
that boat.
yeah.
Yeah.
So these guys are all over the world.
Picklety.
They're all over the world thanks to ships.
Mhm.
Much like a bunch of other animals that I'm sure we'll talk about in the podcast at some point. So yeah, they go to another place, release the water, and they're gone. They tend to prefer tropical, warmer
Mhm.
waters. So much so that global warming has actually created a massive increase in population trends for jellyfish.
Yeah.
So while they haven't been analyzed by the IUCN, it is assumed because they are jellyfish that they are doing just fine.
Yeah.
And probably increasing.
jellyfish will outlive us all.
They will. It's one of the
It's a
few
horrifying
animals.
thought.
I think two of the ones that I know for sure, coyotes
Yep.
and jellyfish are thriving.
Oh, I was gonna say like cockroaches will also outlive us all.
Well,
like they
just
they will
ones that
they
are-
will inherit the earth.
Animals that are doing pretty good with human invasion and
Yeah.
global warming.
Yeah.
So these guys, they're teeny tiny. They eat fish eggs, larvae, plankton, and brine shrimp. And their predators are bigger jellyfish, anemones, sharks, turtles, tuna, swordfish, and penguins. Which I was confused because they prefer warmer waters. So I don't know how penguins are.
They're
getting
everywhere
to them.
though.
They are.
So
and it's
And some
it's-
penguins.
It's also funny because they're indigenous to the Mediterranean, which none of these
Predators?
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean anemones and fish are in general and turtles. are
and
in
some
the
penguins can be
Mediterranean.
in like warmer water. I believe the ones that are farthest north are like in Lima.
Galapagos. The Galapagos penguins are the only penguins in the northern hemisphere. Fun fact.
Yep, that makes sense.
I
Yep.
say
people are
fun
just
fact a
piling
lot.
fun facts
I know.
on top of
Ignore
other
it.
fun facts. This is crazy.
Okay, now the fun fact.
Okay, here it
Oh,
comes.
I was like, I haven't gotten to it yet.
The Benjamin button jellyfish, more commonly known as the immortal jellyfish,
Aha.
they do not die naturally.
Oh wow, crazy.
Yeah. So I am not a biologist.
So we will judge you harshly.
yes.
This
So
is
they
a
go
safe
through.
place. Caleb, you're fine.
So I'm gonna go through just a basic
Ooh, a life cycle chart.
jellyfish life cycle. So obviously it's like the chicken or the egg, which comes first, but they start as fertilized eggs. Then they develop into larvae and find a place to settle in the substrate and form what is called a polyp. And it essentially looks like a tiny little tree made of jelly that grows up out of rock or whatever.
So are they coral? They're not.
They're very closely related to coral. Yes, because coral also have polyps. And then the polyp will grow a few different heads, and out of those heads will sprout what are called medusa, and that's the adult stage of the cycle. So some jellyfish will have a polyp that'll only produce one jellyfish. Each polyp will produce multiple jellyfish.
So there's multiple species of this type of jellyfish, the immortal jellyfish. No, it's just one.
There's only one species of this.
But this is like a life cycle that looks like a lot of jellyfish life cycle.
Okay.
Yep. So they produce sexually and asexually.
Sexual dimorphism.
I don't know that there's sexual dimorphism. I know that there are
That's
males.
What that is when they reproduce sexually. Yeah.
Isn't sexual dimorphism when a male looks different than a female?
Oh, yes. Okay. Morphism. Yes. That's shape. What is it called then? Are you going to edit this out?
No,
No, it's like when they have two different phases. That's what I'm thinking of. Like with fungi,
yes,
they go through the asexual phase and then they go through
there
the
was
sexual phase.
I know.
What is it? What is it? Help. It's not dimorphism. You're right. Dang gummit.
Yeah, I read an article and it did have the word, but I don't recall what it was.
It's okay.
Because I just kind of skimmed over it. It wasn't
we could Google it
what was most
later.
attractive to me in the fact region. Okay,
I'm excited.
So that's the standard.
So how did they die?
That's the thing is
just injury and
so these we'll get there. Okay, so this is the standard life cycle of a jellyfish. However, the immortal jellyfish, instead of dying, can revert back to its polyp stage.
Oh, neato.
And that they do that through a process called transdifferentiation, which you can probably explain better than me. But it's the action of a mature specialized cell transforming into a completely different mature specialized cell, and they revert from the medusa stage back to the polyp stage.
I feel very foolish. I don't know anything about jellyfish very clearly because I didn't know that was all of them. I thought that was the Benjamin Button jellyfish's life cycle before. That's just a standard jellyfish life cycle.
So it's a little bit of both. So like in this,
I am not an invertebrate.
I have a life cycle. You can check it out in the show notes. So it has kind of the outside is a standard jellyfish. Okay. However, on the inside, you can see that there's an arrow that points from the jellyfish straight back
down
to the polyp.
Okay. I gotcha.
So it can take both of those routes, right? Like it can go through like the whole like sperm and egg.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's how they produce asexually. Is this what happens
when your figures don't have labels?
Caleb. You would be docked points for that if she were your instructor.
Because I don't get it without a label. I don't get it.
So anyway,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's one of two animals in the whole world that do this, that are able to become mature and then essentially Benjamin Button and turn back into a baby.
Yeah.
And they can do this indefinitely.
I want to know what the other animal is.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that another type of jellyfish?
It is another type of jellyfish.
Okay. It's like there's only so many things that are that I don't know, fluid.
So whenever they're injured, threatened, or dying, they can revert into the polyp stage and start again.
That makes sense.
The only thing that can kill them is disease in the polyp stage, because if they are sick in the medusa stage, they can
just go back to the polyp.
Yeah. But if they're sick in the polyp stage, they can die. They can be eaten, or if they're removed from the water, they'll die.
Yeah, these remind me of like bacterial endospores or like protozoan cysts, right? So when there's like some sort of like environmental hazard or some sort of threat, they can just encyst or go through sporulation and then they can come back. But to really kill them, you have to kill the vegetative cells and the spores.
So just picture like that in a more advanced life form.
Advanced is like, excuse me, that feels very like you're on the eukaryotic side of things, and it's kind of like anti-prokaryote. Prokaryotes.
Well, and also when you think of jelly, they're advanced.
Is that advanced?
But they're like the simplest advanced life form.
Yeah.
Prokaryotes
are going to outlive us all for sure. Whatever.
I mean, jellyfish might too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
anyway, this got weird. Sorry.
You're fine. I didn't understand half the words you were saying. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I'm working on my graduate in wildlife and fisheries, so I don't learn anything about the small stuff.
Yeah. So
I just assumed you were doing engineering.
No, I wanted to switch paths. I'm pairing it, but
yeah, you're pairing it. Whenever you say that
I'm specializing in wildlife crossings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it combines the engineering.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going a different route." I'm like, "No, you're not. Like
that's still engineering."
Yes,
I
you
see.
You want to use your engineering like for conservation. You just also need to learn like the conservation side.
Like those cool pictures of the wildlife bridges where it's like a grassy knoll across a road. Do they work?
Kind of stuff.
Do the animals like intentionally seek that out?
Depends.
Do you think? Yeah.
It depends. It's still such a developing field.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we could do a whole podcast.
Okay, yeah,
that's
very cool.
But yeah,
it is super interesting though.
But I don't learn almost anything about the whole biology. So I'm gonna get myself in trouble if my advisor ever hears this. I have not taken a biology class since middle school.
What?
I know.
How? That's so sad. I feel so sad for you.
I managed to not have to take any in high school.
Have to? It's not a have to.
But Caleb, who do you go to for homework help when you need biology
English helps me so much.
I actually think that you do like biology. I think that you do.
I don't like
often the way that it is taught is too, like, things are too small and we get into too many details. And I bet if you could talk more big picture, then you would like it more.
I've never liked the memorization aspect of
which is what I love.
Hard sciences.
Yeah.
So math for me, all there. Love it.
Okay.
So like even now, that's what I struggle with is having to read stuff and retain it instead of just being like, okay, this formula stuck in my head. I know how to do it every time now.
Okay.
Now I actually have to read and retain. And
the thing with biology though is like it really builds.
It does.
And I know I've told you this before, but I'm like, it makes more sense as you go along. It's kind of like a game. Like you have to like kind of play it a little bit.
That's a great way to
to really understand.
I have been enjoying it, and I've just been avoiding kind of classes where I may need a deeper understanding. There's one that I really want to take on amphibian studies that I've been kind of putting off because I know I don't necessarily have the background that a lot of the students I'll be taking the class with have. And honestly, that's like most of the classes I'm in. I'm like, oh, these people are either biology majors or
like
wildlife,
ecology, environmental science. Yeah.
I'm the only damn civil engineer in any.
But that makes you an asset, and that's why your advisor was really excited about you because she's like, you can do stuff that all the biology people have no idea what to do.
Yes, but like it doesn't come into play in like any of the actual classroom activities. So
that's
fine.
Tough.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I can't complain. I'm looking forward to going back. It's just a lot to.
It's a lot to manage.
It's a big commitment.
That's grad school.
So my last, the other species that's related to them is called, fittingly, the hydra.
Oh,
cut off one head.
Right.
More will grow in its place. Right. And they're actually freshwater jellyfish.
Okay.
So this is the other one that is like immortal.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Very closely related. I have a picture of them.
Yep. That's a hydra.
I know. It kind of looks like.
I know. Yep.
That's what I said when I saw it. I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yep.
So, yeah, immortal jellyfish.
Very cool. You know, a tardigrade is almost immortal too. Like, how do you define?
They send them into space.
I know, they're so cool. Tardigrades are cool. Did you put tardigrade?
No. Okay, so I was trying not to go like route one. I was trying because like I don't know. I feel like tardigrades have kind of like become like a pop culture.
They
thing.
are, yeah.
And like I love that, and I appreciate it, and I'm very happy for them. But I feel like there's other things also that like deserve some recognition.
Sure.
Are they in Kingdom Animalia?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize that.
Mm-hmm.
What are they considered?
Animals. Don't ask me like
there's like all these branches of different animals.
Here's the thing.
Tardigrade off to the side.
Taxonomy, I can't get into that. That's just not, there's just too much.
Well,
so this is the only animal that we know doesn't have an end to its life cycle.
Yeah. But if something can theoretically live like 50 million years or whatever,
I mean,
how do you know what does immortal mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how do you define it?
Yeah.
Or
I
however
mean, that's
long.
like all the
And
like
I mean, I think
bacteria and stuff too.
That's all
like,
the bacteria. Yeah.
all they
of them.
know is that in theory, nothing other than disease can stop them from
Right.
continuing that life cycle.
Or
Yeah.
sea turtles.
Or sea turtle.
Or getting eaten.
All right, what's the next animal?
All right. So my last animal. I feel like we should have ended on this. I didn't think about that when I made myself go first because this is such a
Because
palate
now
cleanser.
I get to
Oh, it's a
one-up
palate
you.
cleanser.
Just because it's like so sweet.
Okay.
So my animal is the sea otter. I
So
just
cute.
like as I was looking, like doing all the research, I was like, they're just so cute and
They're
they're so
cuties.
sweet, and I just love them so much.
Oh,
So
there he is,
here's-
like holding his little paws together.
Yep. So it's this little water puppy.
Yes.
So I'm just going to give a little bit of background before I get to the fun fact that I had no idea about. So they are found along the coast of northern and eastern Pacific Ocean. They typically live about a kilometer or about 2/3 of a mile from shore, but they never technically have to leave the water. Like they can choose to, and they can walk on land, but like they could just completely live in the water for their entire lives. Which, yeah, it's funny that they live so close to shore, but they're like, I just need to know it's there. Like I don't actually need to.
Same.
Yeah.
I feel the same.
They typically weigh between 14 and 45 kilos, which is between 30 and 100 pounds, which I'm like,
Perfect.
That's a hefty boy, is like the 100-pound one
Why?
versus like the 30-pound one.
Yeah, that's a big range. Why have we not domesticated these? If you lived in like a
No.
seaside village, you had a pet sea otter.
And have them like bring you sea urchins. I feel like that should have been Ariel's sidekick
Yes.
That would have been great.
instead of
way
flounder.
better than flounder.
Yeah, I'm sorry, flounder, but
So-
you're
just
kind of lame.
small tangent. There is a village somewhere where they have domesticated not sea otters but otters to hunt for fish for them.
Oh
We
my
need to go
gosh.
there.
I want to say it's in Southeast Asia.
Is it like
Okay.
an indigenous?
Not indigenous, but it's rural.
Okay.
And
That's
it's
so
a small area where they kind of, I guess, semi-domesticate the
sea
otters.
Oh my
So
gosh.
the older otters they have on like leashes, and then the younger ones
Oh my God.
they just the younger ones will follow the adults and kind of learn how to fish. So
I want to take an otter on a walk.
well, so they go out in boats with them, right? And
Oh.
the otters are you can find it on YouTube. Otters are in this basket, and they will hop out when they get to where they're gonna fish, and then they hop back in, and the fishermen will give
So they
them.
are sea puppies.
They'll give them fish to
That's
congratulate to like
fantastic.
thank them for their work or whatever.
Do they
my
cuddle?
gosh.
I don't like.
Look, that is something I'm going to want to hug and squeeze. They're so cute.
So okay, like
He's really get off me.
And some people do have otters as pets. I don't
but
know
like
that I'd
not
recommend it.
ethically. Yeah, like
No.
the way that you just described, like that feels ethical to me, like because it feels like it's more like of their own volition, like they can choose.
Well, and
to-
also when you think, I mean, such a traditioned.
yeah, it's not like, oh, this thing is cute, let me have it in my mansion.
It's not a social media trend. It's something
Yeah.
that's been happening for hundreds and hundreds of years.
And also, yeah. So I don't know
It
a lot
is
about
not-
it, but it feels more ethical than like some of the other
yeah.
things that
Yeah,
you
I
could
don't
do.
want like an exotic pet that
Yeah.
is miserable, and
Yeah.
I don't want that. I just think they're so cute.
They're
though.
so cute.
Look at his nose. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Look
I
at his little
know.
eyes.
It just looks like a stuffed animal. They're part of the mustelid family, which is one of my favorite families. They have like
It's
weasels
also fun to say.
Mustelid, yeah.
and martins. So I always think of like muscadines. I don't know why, but I'm like just picturing them like eating grapes.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't make sense, but it's cute in my mind. So that's just, if I was an artist, I could draw it very cutely.
This maybe is this a muscadine wine?
It's a
No.
whatever you can find in your backyard, just stick
Yeah.
it in a bottle is what this is.
My grandfather used to make muscadine wine.
Yeah, we
I'm going to step out on a ledge and say yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
at
It's
least
sweet, like-
probably.
Yeah.
Based on my expert tasting
Okay.
muscadine.
Has muscadine notes.
Yeah.
Muscadine for the Mustelidae family.
A little bit of tartness to it. Some
Okay. Caleb. Focus.
maybe some boysenberry in there.
Okay.
Boysenberry.
So anyways, back to how heavy they are. They are the heaviest members of the mustelid family. But they're still among the smallest of the marine mammals. So there's other mustelids that are like bigger than them, but they're just very dense.
I was going to ask about the giant otter.
No, these guys are just very dense. They just weigh a lot in a small package.
Lots to love.
And they also, speaking of density, they have the densest fur coat in the entire animal kingdom.
I mean, you can tell just from looking at the picture that is a thick fur coat.
Yeah. So that is why they were
insane.
hunted so intensely.
Did I tell you I've seen sea otters?
Yeah, you've been to the Pacific Northwest.
Saw them in Oregon.
Oh, I don't think I ever did. Sea lions for sure.
I've never been that far
It was from
west.
a distance, but it was cool.
Did we see any? I don't know. I can't remember.
I've been to Salt Lake City, and that is the farthest west I have ever ventured.
You've got to go to the Pacific Northwest. You will.
I really want to.
It is
You will love
probably.
it.
I really want to.
It might be my favorite part of the U.S.
The trees are so big. If the trees remind me of like Middle Earth, like if you're like walking around the woods, like if you hike up there.
Middle Earth, isn't it? No.
That's New Zealand.
Was it Star Wars? What was filmed there?
I have no idea.
Not Hoth.
I have no idea. Oh, are you the forest one in Return of the Jedi?
With the little bears.
The Ewoks.
I think
That's
so.
the one.
Ewok City. I don't know
all
the
the true Star Wars nerds are gonna be.
Andy would know that in a heartbeat. But I don't know.
Andy, this is why you should be here.
Yeah. And Ewoks look like otters, kind of.
Yes. It all comes
ties
full
together.
Circle.
He's trying to think of what planet that was. It's a forest planet. I don't know.
You should know this, Caleb.
But anyway, you would
gonna
love it there.
I'm going to continue while Caleb thinks about that. So speaking of their dense fur coat,
No, Hoth is the frozen planet.
That's what I said. I said Hoth, no.
We've moved on. We can Google it later.
All right. So their numbers were once estimated to be between 150,000 and 300,000. And they were hunted extensively between around the 1740s to the early 1900s.
Okay.
So the world population fell to around or between 1 and 2,000 individuals. And currently they are mostly stable, but it's still only about 3,000 individuals in the wild. So yeah, like I said, they're like stable, / like going up depending on like the population, like the different areas. But they're still considered as endangered with the IUCN. So that is sad, but like it's a mixed bag because you're like just all the genetic diversity that was lost. It makes it hard for them to continue to go on. And just such a massive like leap from.
I've never heard of somebody like wanting to wear like an otter coat. Like what? Otter lined boots? Like what is it?
Well,
is it indoor?
Yes, that sounds right.
Okay.
Good job.
We'll just go with that.
Just cut that into like the first.
So not sea otters, but American otters. We set up trail cams at our last property.
Oh yeah?
And
it was like a vernal
otters.
swamp.
Really?
In a swamp.
Crazy.
It was probably a quarter mile from the stream, nearest stream.
Yeah.
They had ventured all the way to this little swamp.
Our new neighborhood in Chattanooga has so much wildlife. You would think that there would be a ton like out where we lived in Chickamauga. And there was, but like it's owls and hawks like constantly.
Yeah.
And like
so cool.
one of the first weekends that we were there, we took a walk and found like 2 coyotes just like traipsing through the neighborhood. I think coyotes are kind of cute. I mean, I don't want to like
them.
Pet them or anything, but they look like fox dogs. I think they're cute.
They do.
So anyway,
I just think it's great. I never really think of
I wouldn't have thought of otters like that.
Otters.
Would be
in this area. Otters and beavers too.
I see beaver. There's like beaver dams in that like little pond
I've
off
seen
75. Just like going.
I've seen dams. I've just never really
not seen the beaver. Yeah.
Saw them once while we were kayaking. Do you remember that? We were kayaking down the Chickamauga Creek and we
Didn't
saw
they like
them.
jumped into the water?
Wow.
Or something? Like it was a very large splash. We were like, what on earth?
They had a burrow on the side of the bank.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't have a dam though. Not all beavers build dams. Fun.
Oh, well, I would expect you to know that considering they're the engineers of the animal world.
They really are.
Going back to my fun facts, Caleb.
I'm
This is my animal.
I'm doing marine, not freshwater.
All right. So I have a couple more fun facts.
Okay.
So let me see. Okay. So they eat sea urchins, mollusks, crustaceans, and some species of fish. And they use tools they carry a rock that they just like they choose a rock and they keep it.
Yeah.
And they use that to like pry these things off of like the rocks down below.
They literally have a pet rock.
Yes.
So
And they can hold their breath for up to 5 minutes. Like they can go down with their rock and like chisel things off and bring it back up to eat it. Like it's crazy. 5 minutes. It's just so cool. It's so cool that they have like a rock that they just use as their.
They're just
it's
so
like,
precious.
they
It's
have
just
like
every fact is adorable and wonderful and precious.
Okay, and this is like this isn't the like trivia fact, but this is a very cute fact. Is so the adults forage alone, but they rest together. So they will all just like kind of hold hands and like cuddle together into huge single sex groups called rafts, and they can be between 10 and 100 individuals.
Aww.
And they just chill together. And like there are some pictures where it kind of looks like they're just chilling. Like they'll have like one head on another person's or on another one's like tummy.
Yeah.
And they'll just kind of like touch so that they all like kind of float around
That's
together.
so
And it's so cute.
Don't they like?
I didn't know they were like same-sex groups. that did this.
Yes. So cool.
Yeah, they got to have their bonding time.
Yeah. And actually the male groups tend to be larger than the female groups, which I kind of thought it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in the animal kingdom, males tend to be more aggressive and like need their own space. But no, the males, they have intense romances.
Aw.
And they have big rafts.
Have you seen how the females hold their pups?
Yes. Very cute.
Mhm.
Ridiculous. And don't they like hold their hands
Yes, they do.
so they don't float away from
Yep.
each other?
Yep.
Oh.
It's so cute.
Precious babies.
All right. And then, okay, so this is the trivia fact.
Okay.
They have snack pockets.
Oh my gosh.
They have pockets in their armpits where they keep their snacks and their special rock.
I
Me
have heard
too.
I had no idea.
that.
This
I have
was
heard
like,
that.
so it reminds me, I have a video that I'll show you, but they remind me of like hamster cheeks. Have you ever seen like a hamster just like stuff its cheeks full of
Right.
things? That's basically like what these armpit pockets are. Like they just kind of like, they just keep on pulling things out.
I just need to say, sea otters live the life that every single American man wishes they could live.
Or just person. I think person.
I could live in the water all the
Just
time.
replace the rock
And-
with a beer, and
And have
Says
a
the
snack
person who
pocket.
doesn't like
that's
beer.
like.
Yeah. What is
But if
this-
I was floating on the
secret
water,
secrets?
that life, I could enjoy.
I
a
know, with
beer.
all the snacks
could
you can
do.
possibly eat.
And just
Snacks,
float around
man.
and be with your buds.
Yep.
Okay.
Last
So-
animal?
Yes.
Yes.
Last one.
I promised a certain aspect to the episode: shark attacks.
Oh yes, I completely forgot.
So next animal.
Oh, the bull shark.
Bull
I feel
shark.
like you gave this away already.
Well, we talked a little bit about bull sharks because I'm really hoping I get to see them while we're diving in Costa Rica.
Okay.
Uh,
Careful what you wish for.
Scientific name, right? if the podcast ends, it may be because I got attacked by a
Caleb,
bull shark.
don't say that. I didn't want to start a podcast with Caleb because many of the podcasts that I have listened to, like where there's couples
One of
or
them.
like best friends, no, not one, multiple. Like you just listen one day and it's like the person crying and being like, my partner like passed away suddenly
Oh.
for it was unexpected. I'm like, these are young
Yeah.
people that
There-
are like best friends or like couples
There've been
doing
more than
podcasts
one.
together. And it is like traumatized me. So I
Yeah.
think that podcasting with your significant other is cursed. And so now I'm concerned for both of us.
Okay. there-
Scientific name.
yeah. Don't just relax. Let's try to relax.
Now he wants to go scuba
That's
diving
another
with bull
weird thing
sharks.
to be scared of.
Oh, there's so many things.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think I can even say this. Carcharhinus.
I'm pretty sure that's not.
That
how
sounds
you
wrong.
say it.
Carcharhinus, maybe?
I don't know. I'm not looking.
Lucas.
Okay.
So the bull shark, I don't know if you know what they look like, just right off. But it's probably what most people picture when they think of just the generic word shark.
My brain keeps going to that one that swims around with his mouth hanging wide open. And I know that's not the right one.
Sand tiger is probably
No.
what
The big mouth open. Basking shark. That's what my brain has gone to. So I know that's wrong, but that's what I've got.
Okay.
Generic
So,
shark.
Generic shark. The slim body, big dorsal fin,
Mhm.
sharp teeth. So they're not as big as the great white. They're not as oddly shaped as the hammerhead, and not as stripy as the tiger shark.
Mm-hmm.
They're smaller than I pictured.
Yeah, they're only about 7 feet or 2.4 meters
I could take
on
one
average.
if I needed to.
Punch it in the nose.
You say that. Females
No,
are...
I'm horrified of barracudas, and they're much smaller. So yeah,
Oh, they are scary looking.
Barracudas can get...
the ones that I've seen in person that
sizable.
I've been scared of have been smaller than me.
So females are notably larger than males by at least a foot and a few pounds. I think they can get up to double the weight, but they're not much longer. They have the strongest recorded bite force of any shark, of those that have been recorded. Stronger than a great white,
Oh,
stronger than a tiger shark.
those pectoral fins seem really long, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, this...
He must be fast. That's what I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Bruce is Bruce from Nemo a bull
I
shark.
thought he was a great white.
I always thought he was a great white too.
He might.
I have to look him up.
I think bull sharks look a lot like great whites, just smaller
do.
and a
That
little
does-
heftier.
Yeah, a bulkier. But like I said, the pectoral fin looks extra long to me compared to a great
Yes,
white.
I mean I can definitely.
He is a great white.
Okay,
You were
okay.
incorrect.
Well,
Do your research better, Caleb.
they kind of look like a torpedo.
Yeah,
They do.
definitely. Yep.
So if you got just picture a torpedo with fins and teeth,
Mhm.
and you've got your. I guess torpedoes probably do have fins, don't they?
Sometimes they like paint. Don't they like paint shark teeth and stuff on like those kind of
In
things?
cartoons, I
Yeah,
know
I was
they
like
do.
in cartoons
I
for
know.
sure.
So most sharks have 5 to 15 rows of teeth.
Yeah,
Bull sharks have a whopping 50 rows.
50
Of
rows.
teeth.
That's many
So
teeth.
it's just a mouth of teeth at that point. Like it's not even.
Yes. So on
It's just
average,
teeth.
they have around 350 teeth
Mm.
in their mouth at any given time. Males will bite females to hang on during coitus.
Oh. That's not sexy.
No. So females will have scarring around their
Oh
neck
gosh.
but I mean, for some, apparently the males have to hang on for dear life whenever
Well,
they're trying to mate.
I mean, they are bigger. The females
Yes.
are bigger. So
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
to be fair,
After that, females have a gestation period of 10 to 11 months.
that's a long time.
And they give live birth
Uh-huh.
to a litter of pups that are about 2 feet long.
That's
I know
that's big for such a small
That is big.
shark.
It is.
and I didn't look
And
up
what
the
it-
exact amount that
Oh,
they
okay.
have.
I was
but
going to
they
say,
have-
like, what's the litter size?
They have a litter.
Having
Yeah.
more
Which-
than one of that size
I
in
mean,
a
that
7-foot
indicates
body.
more than 2.
Yeah.
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 So-
They'd have to, the females would have to be bigger to
don't-
accommodate that.
And that's a really
Sheesh.
long gestation period. 'Cause
That is.
most of the time, only animals with extremely high intellect have really long.
Caleb,
Again, it feels
I
you're
like
offending
being very
sharks?
no, you're being very human centric.
Yeah.
with your measurements. What was it before that he was talking about? The sophistication or something.
Yeah. What did you say? You said advanced species.
Yeah.
And here you're saying highly
You're talking
intellectual.
Talking
of
to a
course.
microbiologist.
Yeah. Humans name themselves wise man. Like, how rude. According to what? The only ones.
So anyway, moving on.
Bull shark.
Yeah. So bull sharks do really well in aquariums.
I don't think I've ever seen one in an aquarium. Have you?
According
Don't know
to
that any
humans.
of the aquarium. I mean, considering the longest a great white has ever been kept in an aquarium is 6 months before it died.
So compared to failure,
Compared to other similarly aggressive and closely related sharks.
but
bull
just
sharks
because
do
they
really
can
well.
survive doesn't mean they're happy.
Right.
Apparently, well, okay. Considering some of these smaller bodies of water that they live in that we'll talk about, they seem to thrive in small spaces.
They like being
According
a big fish
to
in a small
humans.
pond.
I think I saw something like the Oklahoma aquarium.
Okay.
You can see in their aquarium they have like 6 or 7 of them.
Oh, okay.
So cool fish.
Cool.
Okay. Only great whites and tiger sharks are responsible for more human attacks than bull sharks.
Okay.
So they are up there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they tend to hunt in shallower waters where
Yeah.
humans like be, because, we're not always the smartest.
Deep water is scary.
It is. Those trenches. Ooh.
They're considered vulnerable by the IUCN, which is more than near threatened and just less than endangered. And then this is not my fun fact, but I'm going to read it directly from Mental Floss's article. So Jaws may have been loosely based on a bull shark, not a great white.
I think I read that book though. I'm sure it was a great white in the book.
Yes. So the Jaws originally was thought to have been a great white, and this will.
You're talking about the movie.
Let me read. Okay. I just realized that is a drawing of a shark about to eat a naked lady. It's
okay. We've seen the movie. Like, we know that's what's happening.
Is there a naked lady that gets eaten?
Yes, it's the very beginning.
Oh.
Yeah, they
skinny dipping. Yeah.
Okay, I feel less bad now. Okay. So,
the only thing that gives it away is like it's cold. You can see a nipple. Like, that's the only thing that gives it away.
It could just be a nude colored swimsuit, Caleb.
I did not notice it
okay.
when I put the picture in, and now
my
I'm
child
seeing
has like a shirt that's the Jaws poster, and yeah, it's a kid's shirt, but like you can't tell. I mean,
that's good
that she's naked. But
everyone knows.
Everybody knows.
It is very clear in this picture.
I'm a horrible parent.
It's like the Nirvana
the baby.
album.
Yeah. In utero. Yeah. That child is like 20.
And everyone knows what it looks like.
Yep.
From Mental Floss.
Okay, yes, back to...
On July 1st, 1916, a 25-year-old swimmer was bitten by a shark off the coast of New Jersey's Long Beach Island.
Was she naked?
Though a lifeguard managed to rescue him,
was he naked?
The man died of blood loss. 5 days later, a bell captain lost both legs in a shark attack near Spring Lake. He too died. Further north, a boy and an adult man were killed by a shark in Matawan Creek on July 12th. Within 30 minutes, a teenager was bitten less than a mile downstream, but he survived. All 5 attacks have historically been pinned on a single 8-foot-long great white that was captured and killed on July 14th in Raritan Bay, just a few miles away from the Matawan attacks. Inside his stomach were human remains. No subsequent shark attacks were reported in New Jersey that summer after he was caught. But the situation might not be so clear-cut. The 2 Matawan Creek incidents occurred 11 miles from the ocean, and great whites don't travel to shallow inland waters. Bull sharks are also more abundant off the Jersey shore than great whites. That leads some experts, including explorer Fabien Cousteau, to conclude that a bull shark was the real culprit. Shark attack expert George Burgess still thinks the evidence points to the great white with a belly full of body
human
parts.
Remains.
It's also possible that more than one shark committed the 1916 attacks.
Yeah, I think it's still the great white, but
yes,
just because they don't have evidence of a shark having swum up that far upstream doesn't mean that they can't of a great white doesn't mean that they can't.
So,
and the shark attack stopped, right?
They did.
And they found human remains inside the great white. I mean,
I would lean towards the more than one shark.
Possibly. But I don't know. It makes a great story that like one shark just got the taste for human
And that's
flesh.
where Jaws came from. So I said may have been a bull shark.
Do you know what Kuru is?
I don't.
It's a prion disease. Yes, that you can only get.
Prions are scary.
Yeah. Another thing to be scared of.
I know. I do. Okay. Ever since I found out about prions,
let's break out the anxiety meds.
No,
venison is off the table. I'm just gonna say, like after learning anything about prions disease.
So, well, I couldn't. But anyway, I couldn't eat venison. But where I'm going with this. So Kuru is a disease that you can only get in, I think it's New Guinea or Papua New Guinea. I always get those mixed up, but it was their tradition to eat the brains of the
coming back
ancestors to like gain their wisdom, right? And so they did, but the prions are in the brains, and so that's how you kind of would transmit it. Are you okay? So it's a neurodegenerative disease. It's like kind of like Alzheimer's.
Do you want to have anxiety?
They don't do it anymore because they got public health outreach there to kind of explain like this is how this is being transmitted.
How are we getting it?
We don't get Kuru.
Okay.
No, there's other prion diseases that we need to worry about.
Yeah. But you wouldn't get kuru. But anyway, I've showed this video to my class. I swear I have a point. Like kind of talking to the indigenous people that used to eat brains, and they interviewed a woman, and she was like, human flesh, it's very sweet. You wouldn't think of that, but it's very sweet. And it was just so creepy.
I don't like that
I
at
know.
all.
Making me nauseous.
No, it was just so creepy to have a nice looking old lady, real
Talking
small,
about eating flesh.
talking about the taste of human flesh. So where I got, I was thinking about like the shark that like developed the taste of this, and now I don't know how to come back from that story. Sorry, just do some other segue. Wop it up, up. Back to you, Caleb.
Naked lady about to get eaten by a shark.
Yeah. Sorry,
Always a good segue.
he heard it
there.
was sweet. Are y'all gonna be okay?
Yes.
The
No.
fun fact.
Yes, back to this.
Go.
The fun fact. Bull sharks are able to live in both fresh and salt water.
Oh, that is cool.
Yes.
That is cool.
So they
Where do they live in freshwater, though?
we'll get there.
Oh,
I mean anywhere, which is what's scary. Okay.
Like
so
Chickamauga Lake.
to be
Chickamauga
able
Creek.
to maintain their salinity in freshwater, they pee, I read something like 20 times more in freshwater than in saltwater.
okay.
So that they're getting rid of the extra liquid and keeping their internal salinity.
That makes
Yes,
Okay, so they do it through pee versus like
through pee. So they'll it's still
Through their
intake water,
skin?
but they will release it more to be able to retain the salt.
that's interesting.
that is nifty.
A 5-foot bull shark was caught near Alton, Illinois,
Wow.
over 1,000 miles inland up the Mississippi River.
So they think it traveled up the Mississippi. Okay, that's incredible.
5 foot.
That's
Massive. Because most of the time there are a decent number of sharks that will have their young in freshwater
Mhm.
and then will move out.
Mhm.
So this is a full-grown bull shark.
And I guess it just eats whatever fish are there, and
Yeah,
not too
I mean,
picky.
they're not picky. They will eat anything that lives and breathes.
Humans.
Yeah. They don't necessarily like human, but they will take a chunk out of you, out of curiosity at least.
They just don't know that we're sweet.
I'm going to have nightmares tonight.
I'm sorry, but that is a true thing. Like that's crazy to me. It's very scary.
Bull sharks.
Bull sharks.
One was caught about 2,500 miles upriver in the Amazon.
I'm equally impressed as the Illinois thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Good.
just like expounding on that, right?
Yeah.
So another fun fact, and they're known to attack hippos
Oh,
in African freshwater
That
streams.
seems ill-advised because they're not
is.
that big compared to hippos.
Yeah,
Hippos are
are
very
ornery.
big. Yeah.
They're not
will
pleasant.
normally go for the young.
Mm.
However, grown hippos have been seen with shark bites,
Oh,
and they have also
mean, they
been
are
known
just-
to kill bull sharks.
they are just sitting there in
They
the
are,
water, like
yeah.
But they're also hefty. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't just be like, yeah, I'm gonna take a bite out of that building.
yeah.
So there's a real rivalry there. Apparently, crocodiles will also
yeah.
eat bull sharks, and I assume
Ooh.
bull sharks will eat crocodiles.
I think that's like the next scary movie, Crocodile versus Shark or something. Like that's the next Sharknado. Croco-shark. Sharkadile.
There-
No, that's
Sorry.
if they fall in love and have a
Oh,
baby.
there you go.
Oh,
Let's just
gosh.
take this up a notch.
There's a resident population responsible for a handful of attacks that live in Lake Nicaragua, the largest lake in Central America. And I thought that was cool since I literally lived hours away from Lake
That is
Nicaragua
crazy.
growing up.
That is just, yeah, I'm having a
Bull
hard time
sharks.
like with the sharks in the freshwater.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, that's weird.
It's scary.
This picture is like, I mean, it's a shark like coming up on these hippos.
There could potentially be some here in Chattanooga
I know.
in the Tennessee River.
Crazy.
So I don't think there's any dams south between here and the outlet, are there?
I am not up
I
on where the
think
dams
you're
are.
very wrong. I don't think that's possible for it to be all the way up here.
How so?
I think there's many dams.
Yeah,
Are there
TVA's
dams-
dammed up the river pretty.
Downstream of Chattanooga?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not up on the dams.
Well,
Yeah. Okay.
assuming there aren't any dams.
What ocean are you talking? Like where? What ocean are you talking about them coming from?
Tennessee
Like the
connects to
Gulf?
the Mississippi.
Yeah. No. There's multiple dams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn
Well, let's assume just
That there's not.
we're gonna assume that there's
let's
not.
pretend
Now, what
that there's
also is
not.
not
but
well
also
known
also
is that they can leap over the dams.
okay.
Like those fish tubes for the salmon or whatever.
Hold up though.
Hold up.
There could have been sharks north of the dams before they dammed them.
And so this poor bull shark is just living alone.
Which
A
goes...
pregnant female.
Oh, dun, dun, dun.
Well, okay.
Life
Consider-
finds a way.
Consider that Lake Nicaragua has a population.
Yeah.
It is connected through a small
That
channel
is a
to the
lot
Caribbean.
closer to water than Chattanooga.
Okay, here's one.
Sorry. I just got a weird shiver.
There
Thinking about
is
the
a
cannibal lady.
The
there
ghost.
is a there is a golf course in Australia
Of course there
Well,
is.
yeah.
It's Australia.
that is landlocked and has an infestation of bull sharks.
How did they get there?
It's
Pregnant female jumped the dam.
there was historic flooding
Mhm.
something like 30 or 40
That makes
years
sense.
ago.
Doesn't Australia have a bunch of introduced species? Like they have rabbits that they introduce for hunting, and they have the cane
Yes. No,
toads.
Mhm.
there's lots. Camels.
Yeah. So they just introduced bull sharks too,
No, so this is a completely natural infestation.
if you say so. I call bull shark. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that was really good.
I enjoyed
Okay.
that.
Okay, good.
So yeah, during historic flooding, a population made their way into this lake in the middle of a golf course, and there's something like over a dozen of them that are breeding. And,
Well, yeah. I mean, they're just going to keep on.
one of the owners of the golf course said that they measured one to be around 8 or 9 feet.
Wow.
So, and this is completely freshwater pond
Mhm.
or
Do they-
lake.
Is it it's a natural lake? It's not like a man-made golf course lake.
I believe the golf course was built around
Okay.
the lake.
I'm just
But
worried about them having enough food in there.
that's what I'm saying. There could be a
The golfers
population
that fall in.
anywhere in the U.S. that was dammed and they got stuck, right?
Mm.
I mean, I assume people would know.
Yeah,
They're not
you think
that
they
elusive.
would have seen it. But
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
not that
I feel like there
elusive.
would be signs.
yeah.
But anyway,
Wild.
so that's the bull shark. I do have a bonus fun fact because I didn't want to ruin the bull shark. I'm gonna go back to the Greenland shark.
Mm.
They are another species that live in fresh water.
Dun dun dun.
Yes,
The plot thickens.
they are the largest shark.
So the fun facts is not that fun
They
because it's shared by multiple sharks.
They are the
Ooh.
largest shark and potentially the largest fish
Hmm.
to live in fresh water.
The Greenland shark.
The Greenland shark.
Oh.
Yeah,
I hit the thingy. Sorry.
You were fine. So there's an entire population of Greenland sharks that live in the St. Lawrence River
Hmm.
that may be completely cut off from saltwater populations because they lack a marine parasite that lives on marine populations' eyes, and like I think it's something like 90% of them have this eye parasite.
What is this parasite
Gross.
called?
I don't know the exact name.
What is it though?
It's a parasite that essentially bites, and so Greenland sharks go blind very quickly as they age because of this parasite.
I think I knew that they went blind.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's because of this parasite. However, none of the species discovered in this population in the St. Lawrence have
Okay.
the parasite
Maybe
and don't have any scarring due to the parasite.
But is it like the parasite is marine?
Yes.
So-
So the parasite can't survive in fresh water.
So, but
So
what
they
I'm
would-
saying is the sharks
Mhm.
would come from the ocean up the St. Lawrence River.
But they would still have scarring.
Okay, true.
So this is an entire population that doesn't have scarring from the parasite. So our next bit of the show, and kind of part of the reason I saved the Greenland shark fact for last, you can now gather your thoughts
Yeah.
and rank your animals. And while you do that, Ailish and I are going to plug our conservation groups
Okay.
for the episode. So the St. Lawrence Shark Observatory it's based on the St. Lawrence River in Canada. They work on studying northern Arctic shark species, and apparently there's like a handful, including like basking sharks, and there were some like makos and dogfish. Like they had a whole list on their website. Check it out. They're raising awareness and sharing how awesome species like the Greenland shark are with the scientific community and general public. And again, the Greenland shark first video footage was in 2013, so there's still so much we need to learn about them. And then last thing about this observatory, due to limited funding for sharks like the Greenland shark, all of their work is performed on a volunteer basis. However, they do encourage donations. As do we. So check out the St. Lawrence Shark Observatory And if you feel up to it, send them a donation. I know we will be at the end of the month. But yeah, they're super cool. They are on Facebook and on Instagram. However, I had to find their links through their webpage because French. So.
Because French.
Because French.
All right. And my conservation group has to do with otters because my other two animals are fine. So the Monterey Bay Aquarium actually has an entire section of their budget and their program that is dedicated to helping the population of the otters. So between 2002 and 2016, they were able to rehab and release 37 otter pups into an estuary that was degraded that flows into the Monterey Bay. And they were able to kind of study these human-raised pups. And it was able to kind of reintroduce some genes that would have otherwise been lacking in that population. And they were able to observe and see that the wild otters and the surrogate otters were able to survive in similar conditions. So yeah, that's really cool. And they continue to rescue, rehab, and release sea otters specifically in that estuary, which is the Elkhorn Slough. But yeah, they do a lot of good work with otter conservation. And so go check out the Monterey Bay Aquarium and what they do with otters.
And also a last minute plug, check out the BBC's Sea Otter Cam. They made a little robot that looks like a sea otter, put it out to float with a big raft of sea otters.
That's so cool.
You can see up close.
Oh my God.
And I'm pretty sure David Tennant narrates.
How did I not know this?
Yeah, he does a whole series of the secret cams on BBC.
My life has changed.
So, Susan,
yes.
Which are you still working on your rankings?
No, I think I got it.
Okay.
I think I got it.
Which animal had the least impressive fun fact?
I'm so sorry. I chose the sea otters. I love them so very much.
They have armpit pouches. What did I just do?
Yeah, we may need to repeat what the fun fact.
Yeah, I forgot.
So
they had armpit pouches.
The armpit pouches.
Okay.
So what I did was I decided that I'm basing this on what is the most surprising thing to me, and to be honest, having a secret stash of snacks is exactly what I would expect an otter to do. So
I understand.
While I totally love them,
if you were to ask at trivia, which sea animal has a secret pouch
full of
snacks in their armpit?
I think
good guess is going to be sea
pelican. No, is it
no?
What has the big?
That's a beak. That's in their beak.
Yeah, it's a secret stash.
Okay. Anyway. If pelican was on the list, then we would have to have one of those conversations with your trivia team. Are you sure they're trying to screw us up? If it was a question of which was the most adorable fact, that one would win.
And don't worry about hurting our feelings because we had Charles on.
Oh yeah,
and he ranked every single one of mine in the last 3. So it's fine. We're still good. So, I mean, I don't like him anymore, but
So the next least interesting to me, or least surprising, was the bull shark. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You just told me not to apologize, but I did anyway because I am a Southern woman and that's what I do. Yeah, the bull shark. I think I knew that they could get into freshwater, but I don't think that I realized they were they could be stranded there. But
I thought the coolest thing about them was that they could solely live in freshwater if that's what they chose to do.
Yeah. Okay.
What's next?
Oh, I'm just staring out. Then the Greenland shark. I'm lumping the sharks together.
That one hurts a little bit more. No, it's fine.
Yeah. I wait, no. I'm sorry. I messed up my order. It's okay. It's okay.
So what's after the bull shark?
It was actually the white margin stargazer.
Okay. So what? Okay. Sorry. What number is the stargazer?
The stargazer is the third from the bottom. Okay. I'm so sorry.
So it's the otters,
and then the bull shark, and the stargazer.
Okay. And then I'm assuming the Greenland shark.
And then the Greenland shark.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the last 2 you have are
then it's the Benjamin Button jelly, the immortal jelly.
Second place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned something there. I really didn't know that. How did I get through all that biology classes and not remember that? I don't know. I do not know. But I didn't remember that about the jellyfish life cycle at all, and I am ashamed.
I mean, I didn't either, so I can't blame you.
Yeah. But the Yeti crab one. I mean, the cutest, like, fuzzy arms full of...
It's the arm farm.
Yes! It's just so cool. It's just so cool. Anything that's, like, you had me at the vents, the hydrothermal vents or whatever they're called.
They're pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like...
We'll listen to future episodes for another animal that makes its home in hydrothermal vents.
Excellent. That's a nice teaser. Well, okay. This is fun. I learned something. This is what I like. I like that I learned something. I also tasted the local wine.
Yes.
I got to hang out with y'all.
Yes.
I got to see the baby. So, many
good evening.
pluses. A good evening, but I am tired.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for coming. This was really fun.
Thank you for having me. This has been a treat. And now I know what doing a podcast is like.
Especially in a bathroom.
In a bathroom, yeah.
Yeah, maybe the only podcast you'll ever be on that
I
is in a
feel
bathroom.
like it's a shame that the toilet never flushed and you didn't catch that noise. Like, that's a shame.
Would you like to do the honors?
Yeah, I'm just flushing it, though. I'm not, like, doing anything. I'm just flushing.
That's what she wants
Allegedly.
you to think.
That was anticlimactic. I don't think you did a full flush.
Did I not? Well, I don't want to, like, flood your bathroom. Like, it's an older house, you know?
Fine, we got the general. It's almost better this way.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Thanks for joining us for Sippin' Safari. Subscribe on Patreon for more content, and every month we'll be donating 50% of all contributions on Patreon to the charity of our subscribers' choice.